The first thing anyone noticed about the voicemail was how calm she sounded. "Hi, it's me. I think I messed up." That was all Anya Petrovich said before the message cut off. No panic, no screaming, just a quiet, almost apologetic tone that didn't belong to someone who would vanish less than an hour later. It was a cold Thursday night in Cleveland, Ohio. Anya, a 27-year-old graduate student originally from Serbia, had stayed late at the university lab. Security cameras showed her leaving at 9:14 p.m., scarf wrapped tight, phone pressed to her ear. She never made it home. Her roommate reported her missing the next morning when her bed remained untouched. At first, police treated it as a routine missing person case. Adults disappear all the time. New relationships, mental health breaks, voluntary escapes. But then they found her car. It was parked crookedly behind an abandoned strip mall just 2 miles from campus. The driver's door was slightly ajar. Her bag was inside. Her phone was gone, and there were faint drag marks in the gravel. Detective Mateo Alvarez had seen enough abduction cases to know this one felt wrong. There were no signs of a struggle inside the car. No shattered glass. No blood. It looked controlled. Too controlled. Surveillance footage from a nearby liquor store showed a dark SUV pulling in behind Anya's car around 9:28 p.m. The angle was poor, but one detail stood out: a dented rear bumper and a missing left taillight. They circulated the image. Within 48 hours, a tip came in. A mechanic named Rashid Karimov, an immigrant from Uzbekistan, had brought in a similar SUV for repairs just days earlier. He lived alone, kept to himself, paid cash. Police obtained a warrant. Karimov's house was quiet when they arrived. Too quiet. The smell hit them first, a mix of bleach and something metallic underneath. The living room was spotless, almost staged. But in the basement, that's where the truth began to unravel. They found restraints bolted to a chair, a camera mounted on a tripod, and scattered across a workbench, memory cards. Anya wasn't there, but her voice was. The videos were difficult to watch. Investigators described them in reports with clinical detachment, but the reality was far darker. Anya had been alive. Terrified, yes, but alive. Karimov had abducted her, kept her restrained, and recorded everything. He spoke softly in the videos, almost gently, as if what he was doing wasn't monstrous. There were clear signs of assault, but the recordings never showed everything directly. Instead, it was what you heard, her voice breaking, his calm instructions that made it unbearable. Then, abruptly, the footage stopped. The final clip ended with Anya looking straight into the camera. "Please, just let me go." Karimov was arrested 2 states away, trying to cross into Canada. When interrogated, he confessed almost immediately, but not in the way detectives expected. "I didn't kill her," he said. They didn't believe him. Until they found her. 3 days after Karimov's arrest, a woman was spotted wandering along a rural highway in Pennsylvania, barefoot and disoriented. She collapsed before anyone could reach her. It was Anya. Alive. Barely. When Anya was strong enough to speak, her account changed everything. Karimov had kidnapped her. He had assaulted her. But he wasn't working alone. There was another man, she said. He never showed his face. He stayed behind the camera. Detectives froze. They had assumed the camera setup was automated. But now, they went back to the footage, and there it was, subtle, almost invisible. In one clip, a shadow moved across the wall. In another, a second voice whispered something off-screen, too faint to notice at first. Karimov had been the visible monster, but someone else had been watching, directing, enjoying. Under pressure, Karimov finally broke. He wasn't the mastermind. He had been recruited online, paid to carry out kidnappings and record them. The footage was sent to a private network, sold to anonymous buyers. One buyer, in particular, gave specific instructions. Her name was chosen before I even met her, Karimov admitted. Anya wasn't random. She had been selected. The second man was never caught. Digital trails led to encrypted servers, offshore accounts, identities that dissolved under scrutiny. The case turned international, sprawling into a dark web investigation that remains open to this day. Karimov was sentenced to life in prison. Anya survived, but survival came with scars no court could ever address. She left the United States quietly months later, returning to Europe under a different name. Before she disappeared from public life, she gave one final statement. "I remember his voice," she said. "The one behind the camera." A pause. "And sometimes, I think I've heard it again. Somewhere out there, a man who never touched her still knows exactly what happened that night. And worse, he's still watching." If you enjoy intense true crime stories like this, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more gripping cases every week. Turn on notifications so you never miss a story. What do you think? Was this crime carefully planned from the beginning, or is there still a deeper secret that hasn't been uncovered? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.